Breaking news out of Afghanistan. The Taliban launches a series of coordinated attacks targeting the presidential palace and other government buildings. We'll bring you the latest. In Haiti, more stories of survival. Earthquake victims are still being pulled from the rubble nearly a week later. But frustrations grow as water, food, and medicine remain scarce. Harry Smith is live in Haiti with the latest. In Massachusetts, it's more than just a Senate race. It's a battle that could end President Obama's fight for health care reform. We'll tell you why Republicans are smelling victory. And the Golden Globe Awards.
One thing that can't be bought is a Golden Globe. Officially.
We'll have last night's big winners and losers, both on and off the red carpet. Early this Monday morning, January 18th, 2010. Good Monday morning from New York City. We have got some breaking news to report right off the top this morning. It's coming to us out of Afghanistan, where we're told a series of explosions has rocked the capital of Kabul as Taliban militants there have attacked key government targets. President Karzai says that security has finally been restored. We will bring you more on this story from the news desk in just a moment. But first, we want to bring you the latest on the disaster in Haiti as of this morning. Despite the massive international...
We're joined here in Port-au-Prince by our own Dr. Jennifer Ashton. Explain just a little bit about how it is a child of that age, because of the fog of the excitement yesterday, we realized a little closer to 2 than 1.
Right.
How does she survive like that?
It's amazing, and these are the miracles that we experience almost every day in medicine. But in pediatrics, we say children kind of tend to the extremes. They can get sick very quickly and really crash quickly, but they have amazing reserve and resiliency, and they can compensate for a long period of time. So again, she was, caught in an area where she didn't sustain any crush injury, and she was able to actually survive not only the rubble, but not have severe dehydration, which is amazing.
Stunning. Contrast this with one of the children that you treated over the weekend. How old?
She was about 2 to 3 months old, and at our medical unit that we were working at, they pulled her out of the rubble 4 days.
As you got here, amputations that were done in very crude manner, yet at the same time, the Israelis have opened this basically a 500-bed field hospital.
Right, and we are seeing many, many amputations, some of which are being done here in the field to get people out of buildings and under rubble, others of which are being done either on a table at my facility where we were working, or at the Israeli field hospital where they have set up actual tent operating rooms, and we observed an amputation going on last night. The doctors and nurses are here. The facilities are being set up, again, albeit crudely, but again, on day 6 of this disaster, we're seeing sicker and sicker patients with more infection, more dehydration, and still being brought out. So the medical aspect definitely will continue.
It is. It's interesting because while there, I want to repeat, there's very much a sense of, as you can go around the streets here, there are pockets where there may be violence or there may be dangerous, but by and large, it's a peaceful place.
Yeah.
But there's a phenomenal amount of misery here.
There's a lot of pain and there's a lot of frustration on the part of the medical professionals here helping, because you finish one patient. You bet, Harry.
I'm so glad you're here. Let's go back to New York. Maggie?
All right, Harry, good to see you both, and thanks for bringing us some good news, especially when so many people are still missing. We will check back with Jennifer and Harry a little bit later. But right now to the hotly contested race in Massachusetts for the Senate seat left vacant by the late Ted Kennedy. The special election is tomorrow. This is key to the president's battle for health care reform, and it is a sprint to the finish for both candidates. CBS News congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes is in Cambridge, Massachusetts with the latest. Nancy, good morning. Interesting to see if Brown, the Republican, wins, if the Democrats can defer his swearing in and get health care passed. We will watch that. Nancy, thank you. Right now, we want to bring you the latest on that breaking story in Afghanistan and the rest of the day's headlines. And for that, we turn to Erica Hill at the news desk. She is from the Saturday Early Show, but she officially joins the weekday family as of today. So welcome aboard, Erica.
Thank you, Maggie. Great to be a part of the weekday show as well. And as you mentioned, the breaking news off the top of the show, we're covering this closely for you this morning. The Taliban striking Afghanistan's capital in force this morning. We know at least 5 people are dead, as many as 40 wounded. Some 20 militants were involved, engaging Afghan security in gun battles that raged for hours. CBS News correspondent Mandy Clark is in Afghanistan and has the latest report.
As Afghan President Hamid Karzai was swearing in new members of his cabinet, Taliban fighters, some of them wearing suicide vests, launched an attack at the heart of the Afghan government. For hours, gunfire and explosions have echoed across the capital, close to the presidential palace and government ministries. It is the worst attack in Kabul in nearly a year. A brazen daylight assault designed to demonstrate that the Taliban can penetrate government and coalition security when it chooses, highlighting the continued weaknesses of the Karzai government and its security forces. Taliban gunmen launched a coordinated attack targeting the education ministry and even ambulance trying to help the wounded. Heavily armed militants fought government forces at a shopping center, setting it alight. A Taliban spokesman claimed 20 of their fighters carried out the attack. A spokesman told CBS News it was not a problem now for the Taliban to penetrate the city and will continue such attacks. There are some reports fighters may have posed as members of security forces. Afghan security forces scrambled to rooftops and set up barricades. After 4 hours of intense fighting, the Afghan president said the city was again under control. Mandy Clark, CBS News, Kabul.
The Turkish man who shot and wounded Pope John Paul nearly 30 years ago, Mehmet Ali Agca, was released from prison this morning. Agca was driven away from the prison compound. He'll now be examined to see if he can serve his compulsory military service. After the 1981 attack on the Pope, Agca spent 29 years behind bars. And on a little bit lighter note, the movie Avatar, a big winner at the 67th Annual Golden Globes. Dave Price is in Beverly Hills this morning, where the awards were handed out last night. Probably not a lot of sleep there. You're still in your tux, I see.
Not a lot of sleep, but by the way, a big welcome from the left coast. Erica, let's tell you what happened last night. It's the morning after the big night, and we're backstage in the one-on-one rooms. This is where everyone came right after they won the awards. Of course, there are a couple of stragglers still left in the hotel. This is the first really big award show of the season. People begin to look for trends as far as actors, as far as movies, who's going to run the strongest during the award season. And if any trends were established, it's going to be a great year for the cast and the director of Avatar.
Avatar.
James Cameron is king of the world again. The Titanic director conquered the Golden Globes this year with Avatar, taking home Globes for Best Director and Best Drama.
Working with these amazing artists, and all of a sudden we're getting, accolades on the critical sphere as well, which we didn't expect.
The Hollywood Foreign Press honored Sandra Bullock's dramatic turn in The Blind Side and said bon appetit to Meryl Streep's portrayal of Julia Child in Julie and Julia.
I've played so many extraordinary women that basically I'm getting mistaken for one.
Robert Downey Jr.'s action-packed version of Sherlock Holmes won him a Golden Globe, and the foreign press sang the praises of Jeff Bridges as a down-on-his-luck country singer in Crazy Heart. More one-on-one interviews in the 8 o'clock hour. In the meantime, though, let's transition. Take a look at what's happening all around the country. California's where we to you on the East Coast.
See you then, Dave. Thank you. Coming up, the frantic search